Because it's America, we can debate freely.
Hey, sister, listen to me. Don't do that. I got this. Don't do that.
They shouldn't have let him in.
No, this is America. He can be here. Don't do that. Don't embarrass me.
I'm not embarrassing.
No, you don't
But
do
to
that.
bring that white man in the black community like that.
You don't have to leave, man.
I'm finished.
Okay.
But
please.
don't you suck
Ma'am,
up to him.
Listen.
He's in the black.
First, I want to thank everybody that has subscribed, liked, commented. I appreciate everything that you've said. No matter what you've said, I appreciate the likes. Please share this with your friends. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you hit that share button. We're trying to make sure that everybody know that they're not victims, that they're empowered for greatness, that we can make a difference again in this nation. That we can stand up for biblical values, we can stand up for truth and push back against all the lies and everything that's false that's taking place in this land. So I appreciate that. And please, thank you for looking at my videos and participating and making our voice known. It's a very critical time for President Biden. With Russia invading Ukraine, with inflation at near record levels, with COVID seemingly in decline, with supply chain shortages, with all of these things going on, with all the turmoil, it seems that Joe Biden is losing his support in the black community. Oh yes, the black community is not backing Joe like they did in 2020 or even in 2021. In March 2021, right after he took office, Biden's support with black Protestants was at 92%. But by this past January, it was down to 65%. That's a drop of 27 points. And this is from a Gallup poll. His overall national approval was from 54% to 40%, 14 points. And there's a new NBC poll that shows that Joe Biden's approval amongst blacks was 83% last April and is now 64%. And a Quinnipiac University poll shows that his approval rating with blacks is now at 57%. It was at 78% last year. So what in the world is going on? Like I mentioned before, you have different causes. You have inflation. Inflation is hitting black people the most because unfortunately, due to the disparities that are in America, not systemic racism, not systemic inequalities, but disparities because of the fact that a lot of our children, a lot of our people are not equipped with the educational resources that they need to excel. And that's not due to systemic bias either, just as due to the reality of the matter that we have allowed these liberals to come into our communities and cause us to be dependent upon the government instead of taking up the initiative and being an entrepreneur and taking up the initiative and going to schools and ensuring and demanding that they teach our children what's needed. But I digress. Inflation, because that does hit the black community the most. And also, COVID-19. Now, as a believer, I love everybody. And as a person of color, a black man, I especially love black people. But black people have been hit the hardest by COVID because they've been manipulated by fear the most. The channels that they watch have propagated fear amongst the community to the point that some people will still wear a mask even after mask mandates are lifted. That is a strong spirit of fear. And that spirit of fear, because fear has torment. And so black people have been tormented by COVID-19. In addition to the fact that unfortunately in the black community, there's a lot of comorbidities. There's a high obesity rate. There's a high diabetes rate. And so all those things factor into COVID hitting the community much harder. COVID is not racist. I know people are trying to implement affirmative action, if you will, in the medical community. They're trying to implement CRT in the medical community, trying to give preferential treatment to black people when it comes to COVID things. That's not fair. That's not equitable, because the disease, the virus itself, is not racist. It just happens to expose the underlying issues that are prevalent in the black community due to a myriad of factors. Number one, the lack of healthcare options in the community, the lack of grocery stores that provide healthy food in a nearby area, the food deserts. I mean, we do not have the opportunities in those communities to actually go to a store that provides healthy options. You have to go to a store that gives you secondhand things that are not good for you. Liquor stores, fried chicken options located throughout the community. So there's a number of factors that have played into COVID hitting the community much harder. So those are things that are impacting Joe Biden as he gets ready for his State of the Union. But I want to touch on something else too, because in the Ohio Senate race, there was a debate that happened the other day between AOC Light, or an AOC Wannabe, and a Trump Wannabe, a Trump Light. And see, that's the unfortunate thing in this election cycle. On the Democratic side, if you have a young lady, a person of color that's running, they more than likely will try to appeal to the AOC side of things. And anytime you have a white man running as a Republican, he's gonna say he's pro-Trump, pro this, pro that. But as you listen to this video and you watch it, please understand, as I talk to my Republican brother, understand that if you're going to a predominantly black community, you have to know how to articulate your message. You can't come in there condescending. You can't come in there thinking you know it all. You can't come in there combative. You're coming into an area that is not used to hearing your message. You have to have a message that resonates. And unfortunately, too many white conservatives and too many black conservatives do not respect the community. They talk down to the community. And they feel that just because all this talk about CRT, all this talk about Black Lives Matter, those are the fringe white liberals who are pushing these things. People in the black community don't want these things, but you are being told that they want these things by the liberal media. Same liberal media that you say is fake news, but you're allowing what they are telling you to build this trope in your mind of what the black community thinks and how they feel, instead of taking the time to listen. See, what Glenn Youngkin did, he actually took the time to listen. He actually had real outreach to the community. When you watch this video of this candidate for Senate, when you watch this, you will see that he does not come off as appealing. Personally, I wouldn't vote for the man. If he came to my church, now.
I thought this is America where we can debate freely.
Hey, sister, listen to me. Don't do that. I got this. Don't do that.
They shouldn't have let him in.
No, this is America. He can be here. Don't do that. Don't embarrass me.
I'm not embarrassing.
No, you don't
But
do
to
that.
bring that white man in the black community like that,
You don't have to leave, man.
I'm finished.
Okay.
But
please.
don't you suck
Ma'am,
up to him.
Listen.
He's in the black community.
I'm doing my job. And I'm
He's
asking
calling
you
my
to
parents
relax.
thugs.
Ma'am,
Make him
I'm
answer
the
the
moderator.
question.
I'm in charge. I want you to sit down and be quiet.
Let me tell you something, ma'am.
Mr. Mandel.
I put my
Let
life
him
in the
talk.
hands of
Mr.
young black
Mandel.
guys.
Mr.
I had young black
Mandel.
men put their life in my hand in the United
Mr.
States Marine
Mandel.
Corps and 2 tours in
I'm
Iraq.
asking you to
So don't
stop,
stand
sir.
there and lecture me.
Mr.
Those are
Mandel.
my
Call
brothers.
the post.
Whether they were black or they were white or they
Mandel.
were Hispanic or they were Asian, those are my brothers in the Marine Corps. So don't
Listen.
stand there and lecture me about race and color.
Mr.
We
Mandel.
put our lives in each other's
Mr.
hands.
Mandel.
Those are my brothers as Marines.
Mr. Mandel, I'm the moderator over here. I'm asking you to pay attention to me.
Truth be told, the woman that was speaking out of turn, who said that he should not be coming to their church because he's a white man, that was wrong. And that's part of the problem that we have in our community, is that we feel that being black is being Democrat. And that's an issue, and that has to be broken. That stronghold has to be broken, because that has led to our destruction. The simple fact that we think that just because you're black, you vote Democrat. That has led to our destruction in our community. That has allowed this spirit of victimization to come into our community and take a stronghold and take root. But we are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. And so, yeah, this lady, she spoke out of turn. She shouldn't have said that to him. But his response was not appropriate. His response was condescending. Just because you say you're pro-Trump doesn't mean you're Trump. You understand me? And people need to have a reason to vote for you if you are a Republican and you're coming into a predominantly black church, a predominantly black community. I applaud the man for having the debate there, but he didn't want to have the debate there. He had the debate there because that's where the Democratic candidate wanted to have it. He wouldn't have chosen that venue. Not at all. And so he came in with an attitude. He came in combative already. He did not come in with the mindset, you know what, I'm going to listen because I can win a few people. And that's the problem I have with the Republican Party. And that's a problem I have with so-called conservatives when they approach the black community. They come condescending. You have the liberals coming, telling us that we're victims, that they're patronizing us, they're pat us on the head. Then you have conservatives coming into the community being condescending. That's not going to work. Neither one of those things work. So why do you think the black community gravitates to the Democratic Party? At least they see the Democratic Party as somebody that they think is going to help them when it comes to their issues. You have to have a message that resonates. Here's a tip. You want to talk about these 5 things. Economic opportunity, educational opportunity, religious freedom, because black people are the most conservative bloc in America, period. You want to talk about the family. You want to talk about the family. The black family has been destroyed by liberal policies. You must be able to articulate that in a way that they can receive it. And number 5, life. Black people, we don't want to abort our babies, but we've been told, fed that lie by feminists, fed that lie by Marxists and communists and leftists. And that's why you see the high rate of abortion in the black community. Those 5 things, if you use those 5 pillars, if you will, when you talk to the community, you'll have a better chance than what he did. But we are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. So to all the Trump lights and all the AOC wannabes, please don't be patronizing to the black community. And Joe Biden, we'll see what you say in the State of the Union because your black support is eroding. And if the black support erodes from the Democratic Party is toast. They are toast. We are not victims. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. Thank you so much for liking and your comments and subscribing to the channel. Please share this with your friends. Smash that like button. Smash the subscription bell. Share this with everybody you know. We're trying to make sure people understand that they're not victims, that they are empowered for greatness, and all this stuff that's out here that's telling them otherwise is false and will not benefit them in the end. So please, I appreciate that. Share that.